Did they make it easier for you to break out of the ice?
I don't know.
Or does Knuckles just naturally break out of it easier? Because unlike Sonic, you don't chuckle.
There we go.
I thought it was really good video
friend.
because he didn't sit. As far as he didn't sit there and have like a biased opinion on either one of them.
Woo!
He just laid out the facts about the. Boost gameplay plays like this.
That was the video that was like an hour,
Okay.
right?
It's designed like this, and here are the pitfalls and benefits that this kind of design has. And then he did the same thing for Adventure. Adventure has this and this, but it has these flaws. And he literally sat there and said, at one point, at the very end, at first I thought the video was this. Because the video, part of the problem with the video from the thumbnail is it makes you think it's one thing, but it's not. Because it says, Adventure versus Boost. So I thought he was going to compare and say, this one's better because of this. But he doesn't do that. And at no point in the video does he try to compare them as better or worse. He just compares them as, this has this problem and this has this problem.
I'll probably end up.
But, and at the very end, he talks about, now if we could find a way to mix these two, mix this and this, we could make a solid 3D Sonic game. But, he has the problem that I have the problem, that Brian has the problem of why is 2D in this 3D Sonic game.
Exactly.
There's nothing inherently wrong with that.
Carter had his
what
video.
Is it?
And then Carter.
What's the point of me having 2D in my 3D Sonic game?
Variety!
But why?
Variety? I am playing Colors, Heroes, and Classic Sonic in the next game. I don't need variety. I already have 3 different fucking games in one game.
When me and Carson end up playing Forces, I'll probably try to be more talkative and get a bunch of points out on my own time.
But,
because
I
I
get
have
your points out now, because as far as I'm concerned, there's no defense in it. I don't need 2D in it. Adventure was perfectly fine.
Because guess what? 2D does not improve the fact that there's still 0 exploration in these Sonic levels. There is no bottom, there is no top, there is no 3 different directions that I can get to the end of the level. It's linear. Every single bit of it is on rails.
The only reason people don't like 2D and 3D Sonic is because they wholeheartedly believe that the two should just never mix.
And Sonic can't work in 3D.
Well, I mean, like Brian said, who plays Colors?
If it did, guess what? There wouldn't be 2D in it. If 3D worked in Sonic, I wouldn't put 3D in it. I wouldn't put 2D in it. But 3D
that's another thing. Well, if Sonic works in 3D, why does it need to be 2D? As far as I'm concerned, if you want to make a 2D
that's
Sonic
like saying
game,
that this game should have went to 3D. I should have had basically the mechanics that I had on the Chaos Emerald levels in the middle of these fucking levels.
And again,
here's my thing: if you can say that that's the thing, then why when you're playing Ocarina, do you want to randomly go overhead?
That's a different thing.
No,
that's not different.
2D
and 3D
that's
are
the same
different
thing.
Perspectives, and that's the same thing.
2
Top down and first
2D and 3D
are 2 different perspectives.
It's a different perspective, but the general controls of the game,
they're not the same.
You can still platform in both, going from 3D to
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time's not a platformer.
No, Ocarina of Time has. You're suddenly, if you were to go overhead, because I've seen this argument come up, you said it and some other people tried to use it. Ocarina of Time's overhead, you're suddenly having to deal with the radical gameplay change.
Brian, did you not watch Brian play Colors?
Brian
had the same problem.
He
could not play Colors. Well, he played Colors, but every time he switched to 2D, he got hit. Every time.
The gameplay...
Because, no, it's the same thing. Because that happens in Colors. I mean, when you played Colors, did you not have that problem? Until you learn where it switches, you run into that.
But...
And you want to tell me that's good design?
No,
that the game forces me to get hit.
The point I'm trying to get out here, while the perspective shift in Sonic Colors or Generations could get people hit, I've seen that, and I won't deny it. What I'm trying to talk about is, like, Sonic in 2D, you're still doing the basic boosting or jumping you're doing. Whereas Zelda, Ocarina of Time, you have the 3D controls, you have your jump attack, you have your lock on, you have your different sword swings, different use of, like, the shield. If you suddenly went overhead, then everything control-wise goes out of whack. Well,
it's the same thing though, because in Generations or Colors, when I'm 3D, I move in on an XYZ axis. When I'm in 2D, I'm going left to right or up and down.
And all around.
That's the same thing. You can say it's not the same thing and try to explain it away, but at the end of the day, it is the same thing.
It is the same thing for a microsecond.
No, it's the same thing. Because
you know what? I've played a game. Shoulder buttons to move left and right.
I've played a game.
I've
played a game that does what I said. It is a game that literally shifts from behind your back to overhead.
I've had the reason I don't.
And you know what?
Ocarina,
you can still jump.
How?
Because you can jump.
That doesn't.
There's stuff to jump on.
That doesn't sound good.
It's Nier Automata.
Why does the game?
Nier Automata literally is a game, and the only reason I don't complain about Nier Automata, because as far as I'm concerned, Nier Automata is its own game. Now, you could go on the argument of Nier Automata is a sequel to Nier, but we all know that's not true. Because there is no similarities in those two games, and Nier is also not a established series. But I'm just saying, I would prefer. Oh, maybe it's just my preference. Maybe it's just that my preference is different, because I would love a game that played more like adventure but had boost versus switching. Because you know what? The platforming isn't that good in Colors. I'll be honest, that has some of the worst 2D control in any game I've ever played.
And the funny, most people who complain about, like, oh, a 3D Sonic game shouldn't have 2D, when you generally ask why, the only reason you generally get, it just shouldn't.
Well, no, give me a reason it should.
Why should it? Why should Link randomly have to put his shield forward instead of having his shield out in front of him? Why should I go from first person into top down?
Again, the control.
Hey, when you played when you played Metroid Other M, and you had to play in first person, wasn't that awkward?
That's not 2D Metroid.
No,
that's only awkward because you
know
have a
what?
D-pad.
Look, there's a thing about that, and you know what makes that awkward? The fact that you have to turn the Wii remote,
and also
not the mode itself.
And also the fact
I disagree because I couldn't play them.
No.
That game was weird.
No,
because it wanted me to actively switch between the two.
To talk about Other M for a minute, the only reason actively changing between the two is awkward. To Other M I just have to make this point because
funny, as of the time of us recording this,
Brain Scratch had a
Hey, you know what? You know what Johnny said in the Generations playthrough? If you want to be 3D, be 3D. If you want to be 2D, be 2D.
Turning the Wii remote to go between 2D and 3D in Other M is what makes it awkward. It's not.
Oh no, it's just awkward.
And the fact
if it was,
no, it doesn't work.
If changing the perspective was done by a button press,
no, it'd still be weird because the first person is just not.
The first.
It doesn't mesh with 2D side scrolling.
If you could play that game with the nunchuck, the first person would have been a lot better because then you could have moved in it.
But that would have still been awkward.
Not if it was the Z button.
There's enough 3D. That Metroid.
I disagree. I don't agree. I just don't agree.
Other
I don't
M.
want. I don't want.
Is other M
Here's
Metroid
my thing.
2?
No, here's my other thing.
Because that's the question right now. Is other M Metroid 2?
Here's my other thing. Here's
Or
my
are they
thing.
two different games?
You know, we have this game. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We could have more of this game. We could have more of this game with more state. Yeah, we had Sonic Advance too. You know, at one point in time, we had fully 3D Sonic games and fully 2D Sonic games. And somebody sat there and at the same time said, hey, why do we need both? You know what I haven't seen since I started making this 2D, 3D Sonic game? Rush. There was colors.
You know, the funny thing about this is, thinking about it, I believe the DS
Okay.
version of Lost World,
Oh,
most of it...
I guess there was Generations too.
But the DS version of Lost World is terrible, don't play it.
Also, a point I
Lost
learned
World is fully 3D.
to help people for a minute. This
It's just
wall, that wall right there is rubber banded, so you can't ever outrun it.
But your rings also, will always
That's
hit
a
the
pro
wall,
tip
so-
for the game.
Oh, he has his pedal,
Pedal
hands.
hands.
But no, I mean, I just want a fully 3D Sonic game. And I also don't understand, like, if we want classic Sonic to be a thing, why do we need Sonic to be 2D and 3D?
Again, no one generally has a problem with Mario mixing the two.
What do you mean Mario doesn't
They
mix the
don't.
two?
They make
Wait.
Super Mario Brothers, which is the 2D game, and they make Mario Odyssey, which is the 3D game.
But Mario-
Galaxy
One
1
sec- there's
and
that
2
one
have
section-
tons of
There is that
No, they
one
didn't.
section in
Yes, they did.
Super Mario
Yeah.
Odyssey where you are playing in 2D classical Mario. But why is that? Fucking Pauline's in the damn game. It's nostalgia.
I can't remember...
Galaxy
Oh.
1 and 2 have plenty of 2D sections.
I don't remember the name of the
No,
mission.
they don't. The
Yes,
game's
they
in 3D.
do.
I don't remember the name of the mission, but in Galaxy 1, there is a
There
mission
are
where...
times you just don't remember a lot.
Wait, hold on,
Wait, is
pause.
the whole
pause.
level 2D?
Let's pause. Let's pause for a second. Let's think about the Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario 64 setup. There are billions of stars, basically. I'm talking hundreds of stars, hundreds of missions, hundreds of levels, and out of all of that situation, probably not even half of those are 2D.
I don't remember the name of the mission, but in Galaxy 1, there is a mission for the first water
Probably not
level.
even half of those are 2D.
Okay, guys. So my question of the day is, did any of you guys get the point I was trying to make about why a 3D Sonic game going 2D for a couple of minutes is nothing like a 3D Zelda game going top down for a couple of minutes? The reason I think it's an entirely different argument, the basic controls of a Sonic game, you have like the ability to run, you can jump, and in the case of like Sonic Colors and Generations, you have the ability to boost. When you turn from 3D to 2D, you maintain your ability to run and jump and boost. It's just in a side-scrolling perspective, but fundamentally, it's not that much different from what you were doing in 3D. A Zelda game in 3D has way different mechanics than a Zelda game that is the old school overhead perspective. Because in a Zelda game, it's all about how your sword and shield and items and everything work. And in 3D, those things work radically different than they do in an overhead styled top-down Zelda game. It is fundamentally a different gameplay style. A Sonic game going 2D, it's different, but at the same time, I feel it's fundamentally the same because nothing from the controls are really lost outside of certain 3D movement things. Zelda games would have to work entirely differently to be top-down. That's why top-down Zelda games feel different. Sonic in 2D or Sonic in 3D feels the same, at least in my opinion. But at this point, I am really rambling. I would love to hear from you guys, so you can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments below. Or you can leave them on social media. All my social media links are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you liked my video, please hit the like button and leave some comments. If you're new to my channel and want to see more of my videos, please hit the subscription button and subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please ring the bell next to the subscription button. That gives you the proper notifications of whenever I upload a new video. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media. Doing all of these things really helps out the channel, and it really helps our communities grow. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys next time.